Okay, so yeah, this video here is pretty hilarious. You're gonna see some protesters, and uh, you would think this is an SNL skit, but it's not.
Calling for the end of a mask mandate, saying they are tired of not living their normal lives.
No more masks! No more masks! Not on the backs of my kids, or you're gonna get more federal funding. That's how I feel about that.
A passionate call for action Friday morning in St. George. Several police officers on standby as many locals called concerns about coronavirus spikes overblown.
The flu kills more than coronavirus.
Others calling the virus a hoax or stating that asymptomatic carriers simply do not exist and they cannot be forced to wear masks anywhere as citizens of the United States.
If we want to wear a mask, that's fine. We can take care of ourselves.
Some rally attendees say they shouldn't ever wear masks if they have any medical issues or mental health concerns, or if they feel they simply can't breathe.
When George Floyd was saying, "I can't breathe," and then he died, and now we're wearing a mask, and we say, "I can't breathe," but we're being forced to wear it anyways.
But many say that they believe in all cases masks jeopardize kids' health. Parents are demanding they have the right to decide what to do with their children.
I'll tell you another reason I hate masks. Most child molesters love them.
School administrators responding that they don't understand why crowds are protesting them based on a mandate given by the governor.
They blocked off the front entrance to the school building, and we went out to ask them to move, and they attempted to storm the school building.
The school board is implementing the governor's recent order that face shields alone are not enough. And if a parent is adamant that their child cannot wear a mask or a shield, they must fill out a form including a doctor's note so the district can review it. In St. George, Katie Crowless, ABC4 News.
Wow.
So much wrong there.
Wow.
So much wrong.
Yeah. Okay.
That's amazing that was like a local news channel, because I would think this was like, All Gas No Brakes or something, where they just have all these amazing clips together. But this was just like them shooting.
Yeah, and so the tweet that first showed off this video, it obviously got reshared after that, but the first one here says this has to be an SNL skit. It just has to be. I mean, unfortunately, it's not an SNL skit, and there's real reasons for that, like the draining of resources from our local news stations so that they can actually do like in-depth reporting and criticism. Because, I mean, you just saw there, Chris, they basically just showed this protest and gave video clips of just people, giving their opinion without actually criticizing it, and they almost made it seem like, oh, this is like a perfectly like legitimate political. I mean, they didn't fact check, for instance, when they talked about the flu, or when they talked about what was the other thing, child molesters, or when they talked about how they don't believe that asymptomatic carriers are a thing. Like, bring on an expert or someone who can speak to that and can give voters, give watchers information so that then they can, have a way to situate what they've just received from those protesters.
And how are we still in a situation this many months in where there are people who don't get that the mask is largely to protect other people and the environment from you? It's like they always make it like, oh, well, if I want to protect myself with a mask, and that's my choice. No, your mask isn't helping you. It's helping you a little, but mostly it's to make sure you don't put your viruses in the air for other people to breathe. And like people still don't get that.
That's why it's so important, because let's say that it helps you like 50%, right? It reduces the likelihood 50%. If the other person's also wearing it, then it's like basically down to 75% likelihood that there's going to be some kind of transmission. I don't actually know the numbers, so I'm just making those up.
Right.
But like, it goes down really, really quick, if everybody's wearing a mask. And it's so easy. It's so obvious.
Right.
But of course,
it takes nothing,
But I mean, and here's the other thing, Chris, though. The talk of that one lady talking about child molesters wearing masks, I'm not sure if that was a reference to like some kind of conspiracy theory about QAnon or like child pedophiles, how it's like run by, how the world is run by pedophiles. Because I have seen, I'll be honest with you, Chris, as sad as it is to say, she's not the first person that I've heard say that somehow, I don't understand it. I'm not that deep into the conspiracy theory world, but I have heard other people making the remark that masks are somehow related to child pedophiles or molesters, or the sort of pedophile cabal that, according to some conspiracy theorists, like runs the world. So I don't understand that link. I'm not even sure that, maybe she or certain other people who spout it quite understand the link. But it is something that I've heard espoused from multiple people. So this is actually quite troubling that that level of disinformation is disseminating to the public. Like, it's certainly funny to laugh at, but the fact that, there are people walking around saying that, wearing a mask is related to child pedophiles and stuff like that. And I mean, that's very troubling, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I don't even get the connection. Like, I don't even see what that would mean.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
if you're
not
going to
sure.
the store somewhere and you're wearing a mask and kids wearing a mask, like, I don't get it. And like the disconnect of that woman who is kind of making it like George Floyd being
Oh, yeah.
suffocated is somehow in any way related
to
her wearing a mask. Like, somehow she knows what it's like for George Floyd because someone asked her to put a mask on when she goes to the grocery store.
Yeah, you can breathe just fine behind a mask. Like, look,
Yeah.
it might be a little uncomfortable. Like, it definitely kind of like sweats up, sort of like sweats up your face a little bit if you're doing it for a long period of time. But it's really not that bad. And honestly, sometimes, like after a while, like I'll notice myself just kind of forgetting that it's there. It takes it takes a little bit because it's not something that I normally do when I'm at home chilling out. I don't have a mask on, right? But like after a while, I was reading at Barnes and Noble and I just had a mask on and I kind of just forgot that I was wearing a mask. So it's like, it's just like you'll forget about it. It's not that bad. And trust me, you're not suffocating or anything like that. And it's definitely like for her to compare it to, the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that. And that racial angle of it really does show not only a level of disconnection, but also just a level of unconcerned, you just not having any kind of empathy or concern for an entire group of people who are right now engaged in a historic fight for civil rights, a historic battle for equal justice under the law. And for her to just sort of simply equate her having to wear a mask in order to protect other people to that is just so out of touch. And it's truly embarrassing, right? Like to see clips like that floating around from our country is just
and
embarrassing.
You could tell she thought she was making a really good point. Like when she was saying that, like she thought she was giving us some information that was going to like make it all clear to the rest of us, and it was just a
like
huge
it was
diss.
just like a very insightful remark that she was making there. But no, it's really not insightful. It's actually definitely the opposite of that. So yeah, I mean, lots of crazy stories going on today, but that one's just funny, but it's also really sad and truly embarrassing all at the same time.